Father Theory, Brother Stoops, and Dash. What's up, pimp? In my opinion, season 7 Clone Wars Maul Ahsoka arc is peak Star Wars with Whitwer Eckstein's performance, the raw emotion. I think it's some of the best Star Wars we got. Opinion, why not? Rewatched 7 times. I think it's very good. It's very moving. But for me, I think that the characters, while they're very important, aren't like Anakin and Obi-Wan to me, or Luke and Vader, or Yoda and Palpatine. So it's very impressive. It's very cool. It's very moving. But there's a cap for me, right? And it's based on the characters. Maul and Ahsoka are like, for me, probably B-list characters. They're second in line, but they're not number one. So there's like a ceiling for me for them. But it's still amazing.
I like the way that arc services Revenge of the Sith. So while it's not quite on the level of something like Obi-Wan and Anakin's confrontation, I don't know if you guys have seen the edits where you can watch Anakin's turn in conjunction with Ahsoka sensing his turn. I love that final arc in season 7 of the Clone Wars. I wish that they had done Son of Dathomir with the earlier arcs instead of even the Bad Batch, but I can definitely see why you could call season 7 peak Clone Wars, and I think it's pretty satisfying.
I'd say Clone Wars is pretty high up there. In all of Star Wars, no. I mean, I think there are 3 or 4 moments I would probably pick out of the movies.
Oh yeah, definitely. There's no moment in season 7 that reaches anywhere close to like Anakin's fall or the Vader reveal, but I love when the stories in the background just flesh out the main story more. And Revenge of the Sith and Clone Wars season 7 are just the perfect companion to one another.
You know what moment for me was the most probably one of my favorite moments and sticks out in my mind the most is when Anakin went to save his mom. I'd say in all of Star Wars, that's got to be one of the most impactful and badass scenes, and I don't see anybody really ever talking about it. So from my perspective, maybe I'll make a video, like a short one or something, but just to explain, from my perspective, like that's a moment in Anakin's life where the thing that's the most important to him is the Jedi Council and being a Jedi, and following their dogmatic rules. But when he finds out that his mom is needs his help, he breaks all that. He doesn't give a shit, and he goes on what he feels is right. And I think that's very Qui-Gon. I think it's very realistic, because if we were all in some similar situation, we wouldn't be like, no, but the council said detach. Fuck off. And he just leaves Padme, like, who's his love, who's his duty, leaves Padme, doesn't give a shit about what the Jedi say, goes on his own journey, and you just see he's just tunnel visioned as he's on his speeder. And Duel of Fate starts playing. And he's just investigating where this camp is, asking the Jawas, looking at clues, and finally finds it. And he's just like Batman on top of this freaking peak. And then he just swoops in. It's such a fucking cool scene that is just so heavy. I think more people need to really respect it.
It's a lot like Luke going off to Bespin, Jedi Masters telling him, hey, you have a duty, you have a responsibility to train, and him just being like, my friends are in danger, bye. It's quite Skywalker-esque.
Poetry.
Yeah.
Times.
Yeah. It's super reflective also of the flaws of the Jedi Council, because I think we're so hyper-fixated a lot of the time as viewers of like thinking of the shortfalls and pitfalls of Anakin and not the pitfalls of the council, where this innocent woman is in danger, being tortured. Why are we not being more sympathetic or even helping him out? Like sending him more Jedi to defuse the situation. Instead, it's an all or nothing thing. And it really makes Anakin being driven to the dark side make a lot of sense, because he feels alone in that moment. And it's so sad, because he doesn't have to be alone. But the Jedi want him to feel that way. They want him to rely on what they're saying. They want him to rely only on what they teach him, and to forego something that is so basic in humanity, which is your love for your own mother in most cases. It's super tragic.
Yeah, I agree.